The ache of Griffin and Roman's absence was a constant, hollow space in Violet's chest. But instead of letting herself get lost in it, she threw herself into training. She had to get strong enough to return to the human realm and help them. Until she could master her powers, she was a danger to everyone, including the very people she was trying to save. Of course, Asher was right there with her. With only 2 days until the trial, they were training like their lives depended on it. While her unmaking was the priority, she had to work on her other abilities too. Her mother, Queen Isabella, had even assigned a specialist to help hone her elemental skills. It took some getting used to, but Violet found it was a lot easier to bend the earth to her will than it was to wrangle the darkness. Maybe it was the lower stakes, less risk of accidentally unmaking the entire world, but she found a surprising peace in it. After hours of relentless training, they finally crashed for a break. Asher brought out some food and they sat on the grass eating. It was a relief to see him eating normally, not inhaling his food the way he had at breakfast. That had been so strange, so unlike him. "So what's next?" Violet asked, a thrill cutting through her exhaustion. Every muscle screamed, but it was the good kind of ache, the kind that told her she was getting stronger. From his spot beside her, Asher replied, "Flying. We have no idea what kind of situation you'll be walking into. If you get a chance to escape, you need to be able to take it." Violet knew exactly what he meant. If Baron made his move, she needed a way out. "So who's teaching me? You?" Violet asked, arching an eyebrow with a small chuckle. "Hilarious," Asher said, his voice completely deadpan. "But unfortunately, love, my feet are planted firmly on the ground." "Oh, I know. I just miss messing with you now that Roman's..." Violet's voice trailed off. She didn't have to finish. Asher knew. Roman should have been here, cracking a dumb joke to fill the silence. They hadn't heard a thing from him or Griffin, which probably just meant they were busy. Besides, time in the human realm crawled compared to the unseen world, and Alaric was still tied up with Zuru the healer, trying to track down a suitable body for the queen. Before Asher could answer, his whole body went rigid. His gaze locked on something over her shoulder, his expression instantly turning to stone. Violet followed his line of sight, and her own face tightened into a frown. Victoria. "What is she doing here? My elemental training is done for the day." "Beats me," Asher clipped out. "I have faith hearing, you know." Victoria's voice floated over, smooth as silk. Violet just gave her a flat, unimpressed stare. Victoria held her hands up in surrender. "All right, fine. I was bored. And it seems like you two are the only ones around here I can remotely relate to." "You mean Torment?" Violet shot back, her voice sickly sweet. "Ugh, fine." Victoria sighed dramatically. Then, without any warning, she dropped to her knees right in front of Violet. Violet flinched back in surprise. Victoria clasped her hands together like a character in a bad play. "To Princess Violet, my sincerest apologies for attempting to steal your mate. This humble fae was wrong, and she has come to repent." She batted her eyelashes, a picture of mock innocence. "So can we be friends?" Violet was speechless, completely thrown by the bizarre performance. What was her game now? But before she could even think of a reply, Asher's nostrils flared, and a low growl rumbled in his chest. "Who invited him?" Both women turned. Their reactions couldn't have been more opposite. While Violet's nose scrunched in annoyance, Victoria lit up like a festival. Her eyes went wide, and her tongue darted out to wet her lips. She looked like a wolf who'd just spotted a prime cut of meat. "Well, I'll be damned," Victoria murmured. Her gaze fixed on the Perryton striding toward them. "He's mine." "Princess," Adrian greeted, dipping his head to Violet. He gave Asher a clipped nod before his eyes landed on Victoria, who was still on her knees, staring up at him without blinking. It was unsettling, to say the least. Still, she was a royal, so he inclined his head. "Your Highness." "Such a gentleman." Victoria purred, her eyes raking over him as if she were taking his measurements. She slowly licked her bottom lip. Where have you been all my life? What? Adrian wasn't the only one thrown. Violet and Asher exchanged a baffled look. What in the goddess's name was happening? As an alpha, Adrian was used to being wanted. He usually enjoyed the attention. But this was different. This wasn't just admiration, this was predatory. And beyond the fact that Victoria was a foreign queen from some unknown court, something about her screamed danger. The look in her eyes told him he didn't want to find out just how dangerous. Then it clicked for Asher. Don't tell me you're the one the queen sent to teach her how to fly. Adrian didn't even flinch. If anything, the corner of his mouth ticked up in amusement. I'm the best flyer here, he replied coolly. The queen is aware. His eyes flicked to Violet for a bare second before snapping back to Asher. If you have a problem with it, you can take it up with her. A low growl rumbled deep in Asher's chest, and Adrian met it with one of his own. The air between them crackled with tension, a spark away from a full-blown fire. Violet's heart hammered. For a split second, she thought they were actually going to go at it. Behind her, Victoria let out a low, throaty chuckle. Ooh, she said, clearly savoring the tension. He's got guts. I like that. Violet shot her a look that said, don't even think about it. Victoria just shrugged, completely unbothered. I haven't seen those guts in action yet, she purred, but I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy the show. Violet shook her head. She wasn't sure which was worse, Victoria drooling over Adrian, or when she'd been hitting on Asher. Still, she'd take this. Anything was better than that woman eyeing her mates again. Yeah, this was definitely the lesser of two evils. Violet stepped forward, placing a light hand on Asher's arm. Let it go, she murmured. It's just training. What's he gonna do with all of us as witnesses? Asher's jaw was still tight, but some of the tension eased out of his shoulders. The growl died in his throat. Across from them, Adrian's expression was unreadable, but a muscle jumped in his jaw. The Queen's decree might have forced him to back off from Violet, but his ego was clearly still bruised. His gaze sharpened as it landed on her, all amusement gone. Take off your shirt, he ordered, his voice all business. We're starting now. Before Violet could process the command, he'd already yanked his own shirt over his head and tossed it to the side. Victoria let out a low whistle. Now that, she breathed, her eyes devouring him without a hint of shame. He's a sight. Adrian was lean but powerfully built, all coiled muscle and predatory grace. Every line of him screamed speed and control. Victoria had never considered herself a fan of shifters. In her court, they were generally looked down upon by the High Fae. But right now, she was very, very into this one. Her gaze lingered shamelessly, tracing the lines of his broad shoulders down to the sharp V of his hips, pausing deliberately on the hard ridges of his abs. Damn, she whispered. Then, with a single fluid motion, powerful black wings erupted from his back, unfurling to their full, magnificent span. Victoria swore she almost spontaneously combusted. Oh, he was an alpha, through and through. A slow, predatory smile spread across her lips. She couldn't wait to see this one fight. Beside her, Violet stiffened. Being topless wasn't a big deal for most shifters, but she wasn't quite there yet. If she'd known flying was on the schedule, she would have worn one of the specially designed tunics. A hot blush crept up her neck as she hesitantly reached for the hem of her skirt. No. Asher's voice cut in, sharp and final. Before Violet could ask why, he was moving toward her. His claws slid out, and with surgical precision, he sliced 2 clean slits down the back of her shirt. With 2 clean slices, the fabric parted. Violet gasped as her wings burst free. The pressure on her back vanishing instantly. They unfurled behind her, a pair of magnificent glowing wings that shimmered with an unworldly violet light. Asher froze, his breath catching in his throat. She was so damn beautiful. Even Victoria fell silent. She had to admit, if only to herself, the princess was a work of art. Adrian, however, remained impassive. He just sized her up. "First thing you need to know," he said, stepping closer. "Your wings aren't attachments. They're a part of you, an extension of your body, just like your arms and legs. Treat them that way." As if to demonstrate, his own wings snapped open, slicing the air with a sound of controlled power. With a single effortless beat, he lifted a foot off the ground. He made it look as easy as breathing. "They respond to intent," Adrian explained, his wings folding away as seamlessly as they appeared. "Not effort. You try to force it, you'll fall. You move with them, you'll fly. Princess."